don't know who all gonna see this, right? But I just want to tell my grandma, I love you, Grandma. You was right, baby. We did it. The night before we went to City Hall, I asked my grandma if I should do this with them. And my grandma said, why not? Baby, we might fuck around and make history.
We got two more things super quickly. I'm going to let Kathleen quickly talk about the Homer Journal, which is a street media paper. I'm going to go first, though. You can end it. I want to make our local media here in Sacramento aware that they are massively sweeping people without real-time housing. On April 3rd, Roseville Road, which is notorious for the amount of people out there, is being swept. We have the leader of the island here. That will be swept by tomorrow. And we need to uplift these sweeps because, again, federal law states they may not criminalize without real-time shelter. And we know with the shelters going under right now, we do not have real-time shelter, especially within the county area. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to do a shout out for if you want to be, if you're homeless or unhoused, you want to be a vendor, we give you papers for free. This particular back issue, we're reporting on the movement. It has the homeless union and the history of safe ground. So this is a really important source for the community and a source of income for unhoused people who can be vendors. And so I just want to shout this out. It's published by the Sacramento Homeless Organizing Committee. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I have one more thing. This is Tawana. She's the leader of the island and wants to speak briefly on what's about to happen with her and the elders that live with her.
They gave us a 48-hour notice and we had to be gone. And there's elders out there and we have, they lied to us. They told us they paved a road in there so that next time someone has a seizure that they could get to them. Well, now they're giving us a 48-hour notice. They took our stuff the first time and they said they would store some of it, but they took it all. They gave us 48 hours then. It was raining. You got this one. You got it.
Okay, honey, where's the island?
They need to stop bullying us. Yeah, they did on a weekend. They gave us 48 hours notice, so we couldn't do nothing. So they didn't know this one. We have this one right here. But I've called City Council. I've emailed them. I've done everything that I can to try to get this to stop, and they're just bullying us. They need to stop. They have nowhere to put. We have nowhere to go. It's on at the end of Garden Highway. Where are we going to go? Within 48 hours. We got elders there. We got to help them move. We got to move. I mean, they know it's possible. So that's why they did it.
So again, it's time for innovation solutions that are led by unhoused folks' voices. They've been doing this for years and years and years. The island has been around for at least 25 years.
Right.
They know what to do. They know what they need to do. We need the city and the county to come forward and help like they have here in Camp Resolution.
Yep. Are they moving everybody up on the ridge too?
Yep.
Above. Have they been tagged?
Yeah, they moved us from down below, down they moved
right,
us from
up above, and then the
above.
place up above has been tagged and is got to be moved by when? April 3rd?
April 3rd and Roseville Road.
Monday.
What they're supposed to do is tag everything that people want, all their belongings, back
They
out the
didn't do
door
nothing. They
for
took
like
all
a
that.
month or whatever, so people have time to go and get their stuff. They don't do that. They just come with the cars and they wipe out everything. They're violent. The
No
sweeps
place
are
to
violent.
go.
The last one they did here, they were taking trailers with people's animals in them. They're violent.
No, we got animals.
They're violent.
Cat, dogs.
That's why we're like the city and state need to be held accountable for their actions. That's just craziness. She's right. They have nowhere to go. Where are they going to go?
Tawana, how many times in the past year, like a year of time, have y'all been swept?
Yeah.
Way over there.
Yeah, you got that right. But they're telling us that they're paving the road. They said that they told us, and we did everything they said. We had the fire chief come out there and say we were safe, okay? And all of a sudden it's not safe anymore.
So I do want to remind the media, the community, however far this goes, that federal law supersedes local bans, ordinances, infrastructure stuff. I know that some of the infrastructure is imperative. I understand that. Sidewalk bans. When you have 20,000 people on the streets with nowhere to go, and you're making laws to where they can't exist, that's not okay. We have federal laws to protect people who are experiencing homelessness. Cities want to keep it up. We will create new federal laws to protect folks.
And I just want to say to everybody here, that this is native land. I am Pomo Kashaya. I stand with the people of Camp Resolution, as well as Women with Bows stands with Camp Resolution. And I want to say that no person should be unhoused on native land.
I'm gonna tell you, with what's going on with all these continuing sweeps, we're going to contact the city and we're going to let them know the next time we sit down, because we're having ongoing discussions, that the residents are in control of those discussions. Well, we're going to tell them that we're not going to continue these kind of negotiations, discussions, while they are sweeping thousands of people. Right. They're going to have to call a moratorium to these sweeps. Otherwise, we're not going to bargain. We can't bargain with them. We can't make agreements with them that we can trust that they'll keep if they're doing this kind of activity. They can't have it both ways. These women fought and won this space. Right. They fought and won this space, and it'll be 200 days, I'm understood, on April 16th, the 200th day anniversary. But they cannot have it both ways, and we're listening very closely to what the sisters are telling us about what's happening in these other parts of town, and it's not going to go undiscussed at the very next time that we sit down with these guys. That's intolerable, all right?
And today at 2 p.m. we're having an open mic and a concert for the public.
Everybody's welcome. Come meet with us, come kick back with us, see what we're all about. Yeah. Right. We're not all bad people, we're just in a bad place. We're not in a bad place. We're not in a bad place. Actually, a bad situation. Yeah, we're in a bad situation. Temporary. My bad. I'm the bad. Temporary in a position.
We got, John wants to make a quick speech.
Something that's very ironic that I just noticed. For the last 30 years, on April 1st, the county and the city has closed down the winter shelters and thrown everybody out onto the street. Today, we're going to start something which gives people a place to go instead of taking something away.
Right.
We're building something instead of destroying something.
That's cool. That's good.
Hopefully the fight's over and the work will begin. Right. It's necessary to get people into housing and get them into homes.
Right. Thank you, John.
Woo!
Thanks, John.
Yeah, we do want to continue to collaborate again with our community, El Paso Heights, any of the local, stores, however you guys come. We always say come in your capacity. If you just feel like having your son or daughter color on a bag to make somebody's day a little brighter, we love it. So, do we have any questions from the media?
I am not the media, but I do have a question that I'm very curious about. The lease is 120 days, correct?
Yes.
And so what happens after that 120-day period, and are we confident that this hard work will not go undone?
All right, that's a good question. And I want to clarify that the original language talked about 120 days, and then it could be extended for an additional 120 days. What we fought for, and we got in that agreement, is that or until every person in the camp is provided with individual, durable, and permanent housing. Yes. That is when and only when the camp can be taken down. So the 120 days is not something the city can or will be permitted to unilaterally impose. This camp stays open, and if they want to close the camp, I suggest they move quick, fast, and in a hurry to get everyone some housing.
That's right.
No, that's a good point, brother. But the other thing that we want to make sure happens, and you said, how can we prevent them from doing this? We're going to stay organized. The fight is not over. The fight is not over. It's not over. You can't. I have to tell you, we know that there's elements and there's forces out there that are trying to undermine what we're doing. They're going to try to say, well, it was self-government, but not really. They're going to try to sabotage this agreement. Am I right about that? Yeah. We got to be vigilant. And we're not going to, no one is leaving this place until it's all for one and one for all. It started with Holly, and that was a beautiful lesson. It's all for Holly, but Holly's here. It's all for one and one for all. That's right. Okay? All right?
I have a follow-up question, if that is okay. So after 120 days, will there be another negotiation period?
We're talking to, right now we're in the stage of putting together the operations plan. The operations, they're drafting the operations plan, not the city. All right? So the operations plan is going to spell out with specificity how the camp is going to be run, self-governed and self-managed on a day-to-day basis. All right? So if the 120 days comes, another 120 days, there'll be another 120 days until such time as everybody's housed. The 120 days language, from a legal standpoint, doesn't have any legal significance anymore because it doesn't matter how many days pass. Camp remains open, okay, and cannot be closed till everybody's housed. And we'll make sure you get a copy of the lease. If people haven't seen the final lease, we'll make sure that everybody gets it. All right.
Thank you.
What are you hoping what is the message? Are you guys hoping that the city works to open more of these, the state, or what are you guys hoping comes after?
So in my role as the Western Regional Director of the National Union of the Homeless, we've learned lessons through history, especially from Oakland. I got to continue to raise my Oakland voice. Yes. I have to continue to raise this fight. Okay, this is about housing. And at the end of the day, yes, we want to see more of this. We don't need a non-profit industrial complex coming in, charging $4,000 a month for a tent on a piece of asphalt to babysit people. We need that funding put into the resources. It shouldn't take 2 years for rehabilitation. It shouldn't be 120,000 units of affordable housing that we don't have in place. That money needs to be invested into the community and into the services for the community. And in the meantime, give us spaces to live, to thrive. Because at this point, people are dying on these streets. Record numbers of people are dying. And 200,000 people in the state of California being unhoused, that's unacceptable across the board.
And most of the people that are dying out here on these streets right around this area are women.
And I'm sorry to hang on this, because y'all definitely brought it up, but why is the component of housing versus shelter, just why are y'all so why is housing so important?
So, housing is absolutely 100% essential. Shelters recycle people daily. We keep hearing these great grandiose words of like positive outcomes. The city's housed 500 people. What this means is that they're putting through doors. At the end, it is not ending in real-time housing. So are we going to continue to recycle people that are in poverty through these shelters, or are we going to house them and resource them and get our society whole again? Our society is real broken right now. We really
time for them to stop making money on the homeless. Put that money where it belongs.
That's right. That's right. A lot of the shared housing that they do have, a lot of them have been closed now because them programs are no longer available. So they've kicked all those people out of them homes.
Yeah,
that's 560 people out on the street again after being promised a house, somewhere to live, somewhere to be. Yeah, they were put there. It wasn't permanent. They were there temporarily. They were just there for
everything's temporary.
The city and state, they're using us for decoys, and we're not doing it anymore. We're here to stand strong. We want our permanent.
Yeah, you got that right. We got that just fine.
We don't want to have to ask when we can get a drink of water. We want to be able to get a drink of water when we want it.
Not in the nursery.
Are there any city or county resourcing or services? Are they offering any resources?
Yeah, they did come out and offer us ID papers to get a free ID and bus passes.
So we really need to look critically at our situations. How many services do we have? We have a lot of nonprofits in Sacramento, and where Sacramento, in my view, is failing is that they've overloaded all these nonprofits. They're like, oh wait, you've got housing here. Let's send 500 people here and not appropriately finance you, not watch what's going on. There's no accountability, no transparency. So it's very vital that we get the resources that we need. People need resources. I don't care what anybody says, and I'm sure these people will back me. One night on the street causes PTSD. Right. Yes. Where's the services? Where are the services? We should not have providers coming in here and saying, all I have today is to write a referral that goes nowhere, or here's my business card, call a number, or whatever. We really need to pull the pieces together. That's why this is great. The providers can come here. We will be working with the City Department of Community Response for whatever resourcing they may have. We will be working with the county with whatever resourcing they may have. And in the meantime, we're going to work on our community trying to create those resources because we need to.
I in fact have a housing voucher for Section 8. And a friend of mine also has one. Well, she had gotten an apartment and the gentleman was going to hold it for her. When it came time for the county to go and do their inspection, they didn't want to do it that day. So they told the guy, well, go ahead and rent it out to somebody else if you have to. My person can wait. How long does she have to wait? She did finally get into the apartment because the gentleman was like, no, I'm holding for her. I said I would. I'm going to keep my word. And he held it for her. To go over 4 months for the city to go and make their inspection. 4 months.
Yeah, the price of living too. The vouchers do not match the housing. We can talk Oakland. We can talk wherever we want to talk. The vouchers do not match the housing.
Yeah.
what is needed, what we're doing. So again, Band-Aid on a bleed-out situation. We got to continue to fight. And the other part of this is because, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the median rate in Midtown right here, just right next door, $21.50 a month, okay?
Yes, we need affordable housing.
Right.
It all needs to change. People have income, but we're going to still be standing in line to eat. We got to pay electricity. We have everything else we have to pay. We need affordable housing. We want this to be transitional. We just don't want this. I don't plan on just staying here. I want to move to housing. All of us do. Everyone you see up in here is looking for housing. Looking for something
I've
better.
actually done the footwork for shared housing. I was going to go into shared housing. I was cool with that. Okay, fine. It's a roof over my head in the wintertime. I'll take that.
Right resource.
I did all the footwork, gave them the address, gave them the phone number of the person they had to call and talk to let me get into the house. Talked to the house manager at the time, and they approved me to go in. County did nothing about it. Nothing.
So again, we don't need a third-party person to sit and babysit. Again, at the end of the day, when you or I or are evicted or having to move, we don't have a nonprofit third-party person saying we're going to put you in permanent supportive housing, which is a shelter, which at any time could fold, like SSHH, for instance, is happening right now. It's not shelter; it's about housing.
Well, I just say, we are not going to. No one is going to be deprived of any benefit to which they are entitled. On the other hand, we want to make certain that no one comes in here and starts to engage in any kind of individual bargaining or splitting people away. I got a voucher for you, I'll put you on this list. That's not going to happen either. Okay? This city had $100 million. I want to say that we're happy that we got this negotiation, and I will single out, if I can, the city attorney, Susanna Alcala Wood. I think that she worked very closely, and she's come around and she saw what the message was. But having said that, I'm going to say to the city of Sacramento that $100 million was allocated for the so-called master siting plan, and it was a complete and total failure. Now, when that plan came out, the union, we were the only ones to denounce that plan and call it a con job. And then we did our own research, and we found that the city could have purchased sufficient modular homes at about $35,000 each that would house 5 people each. And they could house all 11,000 unhoused people in the county of Sacramento. And you know what it came to? What the total came to? $93 million. So we would have come in for $7 million less than the city just wasted on this master siting plan. But we're implementing the siting plan because this was originally supposed to be part of it. Okay, so the people here said, tell you what, we'll just go ahead and take it because y'all promised to us in the first place. You see what I'm saying? But we're gonna be vigilant. We're gonna work with the city, but at the same time, we're going to make it very clear that this lease is going to be enforced. And as third-party beneficiaries, the people that are in the camp have legal standing to go to court to enforce the terms of the agreement. We hope that doesn't come to that. I feel optimistic that the city is getting the message, but we're going to have to talk to them about these sweeps. All right?
Sure. My name is Crystal Sanchez. CRYSTALSANCHEZ.
And you're the Western Regional Director.
You just put the Sacramento Homeless Union President.
Can I make a statement really fast? Somebody asked about housing and why it's essential. If you know the history of this land and the original people of this land, you guys are on Nisenan and Miwok land currently. Camp Resolution is extremely respectful of that. We're asking everybody be. But when the question comes to us, why is housing important? Well, because it's very hard to have any kind of life and live when you are constantly in survival mode. We know we're indigenous people. We have a lot in common with these people, okay? So when everybody goes away from here and you go back to your home, I want you to think about that. You have nothing to complain about. Not a single thing to complain about. And the very fact that the majority in this state don't understand why housing is essential, that, my friends, is privilege as fuck. And you can quote me on that.
Love you.
We are changing this day. We're changing the script. And I encourage all indigenous people to get up, stand up. If we want to be stewards of this land, we got to start stewarding this land. We have to stand with the unhoused. They know exactly what we're going through. We know exactly what they're going through. And I want to reiterate this over and over again, is that the matriarchs, the unhoused matriarchs, united a people, found solutions, came up with resolutions. They gathered people, they gathered community, they went into City Hall. They have been reaching out to everyone and anyone, and you know what? They've been in survival mode doing it.
Women of Buzz, we love you!
We love you! Keep that in mind. Why aren't all of you doing more? Why aren't you doing more? Get out and help. Yes, not everybody has the money to go out and just take a ton of donations. It doesn't matter. There's somebody on a street corner living by your house. You got leftovers at dinner. When you eat, take those and bag them up and take them to somebody else who may not have eaten for days. You know, we're privileged in this nation, and we need to knock it off. And we need to have compassion. When we say land back doesn't mean anything without humanity back. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.